Independent journalist Ken Klippenstein published the shooter's full manifesto, which is really more of a memo, I would say. I don't know if you read it, but what did you make of the decision to publish it versus mainstream media outlets' initial refusal to do so?
I kind of expected more of the media. I don't think you have to glorify it, but it does seem newsworthy to publish it in full. And maybe you can have disclaimers around it, sort of explaining, its provenance, like whether it can be attributed to the suspect, all of those things. But it does seem like there is a public interest in having it in full. And I did read it. And, I think it accords with this moment where we're talking about what is the average person's experience of health insurance. And, here is someone who is really railing against the system and this institution because he's had apparently a really terrible time.
I don't really have a super hot take on whether publishing is the right thing or the wrong thing. I am generally of the view that this idea that the mainstream media can serve as gatekeepers to protect people from information is long past, because just the words Ken Klippenstein's Substack suggest that the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal aren't the arbiters of what is journalism or what people get. I'm sympathetic to the long-held view that publishing these manifestos can inspire copycats. And so everyone can make their own decision about it, but this idea that you're keeping it from the public, I remember thinking about this same conversation around the publication of the Steele dossier. It's going to get out there, and sometimes maybe it makes sense for larger journalistic institutions who have the capacity to provide context in research with it can do that, as opposed to trying to pretend like it doesn't exist.